I could probably should do a little more proper update now. Yeah, basically, Steph is, yes, back in the hospital for a bit. Because well, she'd had some and there was still one wound that hadn't quite healed up completely. It was and wasn't really being treated with the utmost of care, I guess, because they felt there was just keep a bandage on, and it's gotten infected. So, yeah, not a big thing, but under the circumstances, it probably played into why she didn't, started feeling dizzy, couldn't walk, the pain in the feet. So, yeah, back in the hospital for that. They could take care of that, no problem. But also, she now has that extra time to do proper physical therapy, get trained, so that when she comes out, she won't necessarily need that walker I got in the back, and I'm afraid I'm going to take my head off if I hit the brakes too hard. But again, we'll be able to get some funding better set up, because, yeah, they say, could respond, on these, settlement loans, where it's like you can't wait 2 years for your lawsuit to settle. You need the money now. So there are companies out there, a lot of good ones, that will give you a loan. It's basically a glorified payday loan, what it amounts to. Where they will, they'll give you, loan you a certain amount, and when your settlement comes in, they get their chunk plus apparently some pretty healthy interest. So. And we expect, under the circumstances, we do expect to get a pretty good settlement out of this thing. We just need, between $50,000 and $75,000 to get it set up and be able to live for a while. The plan being that we'll be able to, get probably a Class A motorhome set up in an RV park somewhere, and I can finally put up the computer, leave it set up, do some proper get some good equipment, a proper computer to run this stuff, maybe even a Yeti microphone. That'd be fun, and start really cranking up some good stuff here, and begin the next phase of really building this, building this channel and thing, getting our lives back going. We have an actual bed to sleep in, an actual bathroom to call our own, an actual kitchen, so I'm no longer having the food storage being in the back seat here. And then finally getting this thing into the shop and getting fixed what issues that need to be dealt with when we bought the thing, namely the windows not working, and there's a short somewhere that occasionally rears its ugly head, and the fact that I don't have a remote for the locks. I mean, now I get $45 over AutoZone, but it just seems to take it to the Ford dealership, they go to it. They probably use new seats too, but that's another matter. Now, I think probably elaborate a little more on the situation with Abdin. And this is why I was hopeful that he wanted a jury trial. Because when it's all lawyers and judges, yes, you can get mixed in the weeds of, well, technically this is sort of thing. On the surface, any guy on the street can say, yeah, they ripped him off. Because this whole thing, well, yeah, you cite some very obscure works here and there about tardigrades and how they can survive in space. Because I never heard of Captain Tardigrade before, and they cited Cosmos, which it's not a work, it's a documentary series, really. It's a science series, and they're citing Cosmos, citing the tardigrades. No. That's why we have jury trials. So it's not all a bunch of lawyers arguing technicalities and loopholes here and there, and you get just in front of the regular folks and just does this pass the smell test? This does not pass the smell test. Okay, this decision stinks to high heaven, and I hope to hell that there is an appeal available for this. It's not just that this is as far as you go. No, this should be appealed if it can be appealed. Because even because I don't think the decision really addresses the way CBS conducted themselves during this whole thing, which is absolutely abominable. You give a guy come and you threaten I'll give you this, and we threaten not to sue you for plagiarism. Excuse me? that was just a case of unmitigated gall on CBS's part right there. But they would come back and threaten not to sue him for plagiarism. When his deal works, again, going about a year or two before Discovery was even thought of being announced. And he's already got stuff, up on YouTube. Work in progress videos, so no. They, and I think it should be reviewed as a bit of a hollow victory on CBS's part, because one, their reputation is going to be forever stained. Oh yeah, it's a show they got sued for video game, right? And also, CBS in the end is now going to be reabsorbed back into Viacom. Eventually, saner heads will prevail and be put in charge of Star Trek, and all the little power plays will be for nothing. So yeah, you managed to squash one guy. So, well, maybe not squash, but you beat back that lawsuit. And I'm still baffled of why some folks on the AXA monitor, I think, is and some of the, and why they're cheering on CBS. Essentially, they should be on Anas's side, you'd think. But some of the people who've lined up, why? What the hell? How do you not see this? Get your head out of your little niceties, this percentage of that percentage, and then it's blatantly obvious what they did. Even if it was just one guy in a rush who figured, I'll just pull us from the net, no one's ever heard of this, and I'll get away with it. Anas was ripped off. I'm sorry, it is just patently obvious to anybody who doesn't have their head shut with their ass and thinking 6 ways from legalese. I skimmed over the judge's ruling, and a lot of it seems to hinge on probably some very outdated thought processes, considering the nature of information trafficking in the modern world. But it seemed like since he couldn't actually point to a smoking gun, saying that this is the person that logged on to and stole the, no, it's like, no, that's a little too high a bar. And that thing is, that's why intellectual property theft is as rampant as it is, because you have such a high bar to hurdle to prove it. In a lot of cases. That CBS, just in this case, just seems like they operate with impunity. Oh yeah, we did it. We can't do anything about it. I mean, there's some comparisons being made, between DS9 and B5 in this case. Now, in that case, I think it is, they may have gotten an inspiration here and there, but also there was nothing in DS9 really that was not already in Star Trek in some form or another. They had space stations. They even had a stable wormhole a few seasons earlier, and then episode. I forget the name of it, but it was the one with the Barzan wormhole. The two Ferengi got stranded in the Delta Quadrant, and they find them later in Voyager. But yeah, that was a stable wormhole then. I forgot. And godlike beings living in, again, nothing really in there that couldn't have been derived from Star Trek itself. And that's why I think they did kind of, do a settlement on that, an undisclosed settlement on that one, because, no, you couldn't prove it, but also you couldn't prove you didn't get little borrowing things here and there from Joe Straczynski. So, well, I figured that, Straczynski had better lawyers than Nas did. But also wasn't dealing with CBS. So. But yeah, I think just, it's a setback, I guess, for, it's certainly a setback for us, but for us, life goes on. Just, it's still the same stupid, stinky show it was before. And just because it couldn't be proven in a court of law that they ripped him off, we know, okay? We know it's a rip-off. And a rather shoddily made ripoff too, because at least with DS9 and Babylon 5, there's still a couple of quality shows in the thing. That's why the whole rivalry thing is kind of silly, because so what if they borrowed an idea here and they still got a damn good show out of it? And Babylon 5 was just as much a damn good show. So you got two good shows. Let's just be happy we got two good shows out of it. in the case of Discovery, it's like we're not getting something. We're not getting anything of benefit really out of this. We're still got a supposed Star Trek show that is really Star Trek in name only. There's no resemblance to actual Star Trek, especially not in a time period they're supposed to be set in. It makes a mockery of just about everything the Star Trek is supposed to stand for, despite all the talk about diversity and the characters are assholes. Nobody wants to associate with these guys. Nobody. Who the hell wants to be like these idiots? I think that maybe we need to go. I don't know. Stuff somewhere in here. Come on. I really wonder. They come people all the time. What I've been saying. Who the hell is getting inspired by Discovery? You know? That's all I like to know. Because they've only had like a couple of characters that were worth the crap, and they ruined them in the process too. Many of those short treks. Now this is going to be interesting because as many times as I've been down here to this hospital, usually I'm not the one driving. And it's usually just for like a few minutes, to pop in, get something done. Let the valets take care of it. No, I'm going to park this myself. And I'm going to be here for a little while. But basically, just, let's keep the pressure up on them. Don't let them think they've won anything, because they haven't. So, as always, PayPal, Patreon down below. Want to mail anything to me? Captain Robert April, 4046 North Goldenrod Road, number 115, Winter Park, Florida, 32792, and we'll catch you later.